regarding esports, and that's what eBoost is kind of revolved around. So, my background, I've been in Bitcoin since 2010. I'm one of the first professional Bitcoin miners. I'm a founding member of Satoshi Roundtable, consulted with companies like Intel, Sony. I started a project called Bitcoin Classic with Gavin and Jonathan. And then right around that time, started into esports. And now I do a little bit of work with Neki also. If you guys are planning on doing an ICO, I would definitely recommend talking to those guys. Jail is not fun, from what I hear. So get with Neki if you can. But so yeah, the team, we've got Nick, Jim, as you guys heard talk earlier. Jim's a great dev. He's got a good team behind him too there. Leo, Michael, and myself, that was the core founding members. And in 2015, I actually tried to get out of crypto because of the whole Bitcoin policies and all these people kind of fighting with each other. And I started an esports company, and I really wanted to stay out of crypto, but the esports company had a lot of success. And overnight, we had 40,000 people on our server asking, hey, we want to trade skins, but PayPal sucks, and this kid in India doesn't have a bank account. We know you're big in Bitcoin, can you teach us? I said, sure. So we made them a little development kit and taught these guys how to, use Bitcoin for peer-to-peer transactions. But in the esports world and in the skin side, and a skin, for those of you who don't know, is if I want to change the way my gun looks in a video game, something like that, you can do that and pay a fee and get a cool-looking gun, basically. And these guns range from the price of, $1 to $10,000. And so, if you're a young person and you're trying to buy a $1 skin, paying a $5 fee doesn't really make sense. So I said, okay, well, use Ethereum. That's a good choice too. I'm not getting back into crypto, just use Ethereum. And they tried that for a little bit, and then the gas fees went up. And then these guys in the community filled out a petition, and there were 30,000 people who signed this thing that said, make us something. And I was like, oh God, okay. And 30,000 people ask you to make something, you make it. And now it's kind of grown into something really big. We've got over 10 to 20,000 daily trades in our Discord server. We're implemented on these sites here and even more. We've got a big integration going on with CoinFamous.net, Alex and those guys, Samir, those guys are great. But the big part is this Trade Central side. There's already been 1 million items traded so far, and it's all peer-to-peer. And eBoost is that vehicle. They've been around for about 1.5 years. It's the biggest, if you're familiar with a platform called Discord, it is the biggest trading server on Discord. We've got a partnership with Discord, this guy's great too, but that's kind of just old hat. We talked about this in London. We've been on this project for about 1 year, but the big side to this is the esports factor. We also run an esports company called Mocket. We've done tournaments, we've got championship teams. They've been on, if you guys were watching TBS anytime in the past maybe 3 weeks, you've seen our team on TBS. And this is some stats about these guys. And actually half of them prefer to get paid in eBoost, which is pretty cool. And that's how you know this kind of crypto mania is really set in, which is exciting for us. So the 3 guys on the far right side, they all get paid in eBoost, which is pretty cool. But again, that's just kind of the older stuff that we're getting into now. Done a lot of tournaments. We worked with a lot of great people. Seth Shapiro, a really great guy. He's on the marketing team as well. If you guys see him around, you could talk to him a little bit about some of this stuff. But we've done events with deadmau5, Mike Big Baller, and that's just kind of like the old hat stuff. So now the question is, what do you do next? We've got a listing going on OKX in February. We're now currently traded on Bittrex. We've been on Bittrex since the beginning. They hosted our ICO. We did our ICO in 2016, I guess before it was cool. And we recently signed a deal with the government of Sweden. And so if you don't know, Sweden is the esports hub. They've got PC cafes everywhere. The government's directly involved. And this year with our annual meeting with those guys, they're actually giving people days off of school to go to an event called DreamHack, which is like a very large video game convention where people go and stay overnight, just kind of bring their PCs and stuff. So Sweden is the hub. We recently signed a deal with those guys. They are running video game development schools, which is pretty interesting. And they're using a new platform that we have launched called Alaris. Alaris is, if you know anything about game development, it's not like typical coding. Game development is very niche. But the problem is there's no real kind of blockchain integrations there. So if I'm playing one game, I'm stuck in that game's ecosystem exclusively, and I cannot operate out of that unless I close down the game and open up another game. So this interoperability is not there, and it should be there. The other issue is if you want to make a video game and you have $0, there is no hope for you. You can make a game, but you're not going to be able to sell it. You can get it listed on platforms like Steam, but if you don't have the marketing dollars, you're not going to be able to have a featured page. Nobody's going to see your game, and there's basically that's it. Maybe sell 1,000 copies, and that's it. And we wanted to change that. So what we're doing with Alaris is making a development engine so that you can have a turnkey economy in your game that is interoperable between any other game that you build on that website. And so the big thing with the government in Sweden is they are going to use Alaris as the default game programming language that they teach all their students in their schools. Now, Sweden has put out probably the top 50 game developers ever, and they're all from Sweden. So we're pretty excited about that too. Because now crypto and blockchain tech has permeated everything. How many gamers we have there? Let's just see that. Who plays a game? Any game, mobile, PC, whatever. There you go. Okay, yeah, JJ, we know you play games, buddy. So this, we started crypto in 2009, and just, it was a finance system. But now the tech has evolved so much that we're able to help people across multiple industries, multiple ecosystems. And if you're a smart person, but you're really crappy with the money side, it shouldn't punish your project. Maybe you're really bad at partnering people, and that's what we're trying to fix with this Alaris project. We also signed a deal to partner with OKX. They're going to be, if you have an OKX account, in February you'll be able to get free eBoost. So if you don't have an OKX account, you should get one. They'll be doing an airdrop there too. And this is just a little bit more about Alaris. It's, if you know anything about game development, you can think of it as being the Unreal Engine, but being any other game you want it to be at the same time. So if you have Counter-Strike, which is the biggest game in the world right now, and you wanted to buy, let's say, a Rocket League key, while you're in Counter-Strike, you can do that with Alaris. So we're building out this nice ecosystem. And we're also the chairman of the Esports Consortium, if you guys don't know what that is. A lot of great companies involved in that. Spective, we've got Gimli, esports.com, a few others. Fans Unite, I think, is here too. They're in it. And this whole ecosystem is revolving around esports, and it's really starting to take off. It's really exciting. So, I mean, you've had companies like Netflix explode over the past 5 years. You've had the Super Bowl, which was like the last great bastion of sports, had triple years down figures across the board. Nobody watches TV, everybody's streaming content. And now you've got platforms like Twitch, which are these digital campfires. People just want to sit around and watch people play games. If you don't know what Twitch is, I encourage you guys to check it out. It's an Amazon purchased company. I think they purchased it for about $1 billion, maybe 6 years ago. And the concept is you watch people play video games. For some people who are not gamers, think, what is that? And initially, if you would have told me 10 years ago, there's going to be a company that's valued at $20 billion, and all it is people watching other people play video games, you say that's psychotic. What are you doing? But the reality is, people want this peer-to-peer interaction exclusively. So it's not me just watching you play games. It's me watching you play games with other people I can chat with interactively. And it feels just like I'm part of a community. Everybody wants to be a part of something, and as most gamers know, we're all just kind of weird in general. We just want to be with other weird people. So that's a big part of the Twitch magic there. And now you're starting to see YouTube and Facebook and Twitter get involved there. So what I'll say is the digital age of peer-to-peer interaction is here, and that's a perfect complement to blockchain tech. And now they're colliding at the same time, which is really exciting. That's kind of where we started with Alaris. So just a few key points for Alaris. We've just finished up Coin Agenda and CES. We've got an airdrop coming in May 23rd, and the only way you'll be able to get this new token is if you have eBoost. So we're working with OKX to facilitate our airdrop with Alaris. We've not finished that out just yet, but we're working towards that. So I guess the takeaways here are, if you're a nerd and you're a gamer, keep doing your thing. And if you don't know anything I've talked about, you should learn, because times are changing. you're seeing 4,000 people at a crypto conference, and 5 years ago it was just 5 guys talking about nerd money, and now it's permeated beyond that much more. So we'll wrap up a little bit early here to save some time, but I'll be walking here for the next 20 minutes. My name is Marshall, and this is eBoost. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Very nice. All right, we are almost to the end. I can see it in sight.